Good, Dean. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you, Dean. Oh my God.
Point is, you're not going to be Trump, and all the money you're wasting could go to better causes.
Because I represent science. Take a look what happened. You should see the light from the ground of the king of the night.
Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal.
Top shareholders of all of these corporations are Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street, the big three. Doesn't matter how many different companies you look at in all of the different parts of our lives.
And there's an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. We will do whatever we need to do to make sure that there's enough cash in the banking system. And there is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
am the storm.
There's an analogy that kind of came to mind, and it's like building sandcastles on the beach. There's like this ebb and flow in our lives, not just with our craft, like whatever it is that we're passionate about, but just everything in our lives. You're trying to build some idea, but the tide comes in inevitably, knocks it down. The first time that you build something you're really proud of, and it gets knocked down, it's like soul crushing, you know? Some people rush out, they like run away from the waves, and they never come back, you know? And then you also see people that see the waves coming in, and they're just having fun splashing around in the water. They're immersing themselves in that moment too. Like that's actually kind of like the beauty and the cyclical nature of our lives, is that you can start over. It's expected, actually, from a certain perspective, if you accept that nothing's permanent, you know, including who you are.
Welcome to Spitting Truth with Titus, mateys, and we are back splashing around in them waters here on the digital waves of YouTube. We're back better than ever, and we have a lot to go over tonight and not a lot of time to do it in. So let's get right into what we have going on this evening, ladies and gentlemen. The final war to control humanity. And what do I mean by that? It's a war between Eurasia. Haven't you known we've always been at war with Eurasia? And it is the final war, the war that never ends, because it's not a war against a foreign adversary. It's a war against the people themselves, the very people watching this stream right now. The bankers have declared war on you, your families, on your mind, on everything, on your God. That's what they're at war with. And we are standing here strong in the waves, fighting back against this utter nonsense that we see. Now, the first thing that I have to cover tonight, and this has nothing to do with the rest of the stream, but I saw this story and I couldn't help myself but cover this because of how gross and disgusting this is. Shut it down, okay? Wizz, this application that is a new online dating thing, has turned out to be what they call a Tinder for kids. I kid you not. Now, I've seen this because I play things like Atlas Earth, because I find it fun to be the digital king of land that I see these No Kings protest on. And then I go down there, and so do my friends, and we go, Titus is your king, okay? But they advertise this ridiculous app on there, and this ridiculous app is allowing children on a dating app with adults. Are you serious? How is that allowed? How is this person that runs this thing not in jail? An app called Wizz has been making headlines lately for connecting minors with sexual predators. Many have described this app as a Tinder for kids. It's the same iconic swipe right left functionality and the same purpose of meeting up with strangers, only this time targeted at both teens and adults. What's the result of this app? A 12-year-old girl meeting up with a supposed 14-year-old boy that Wizz connected her with, only to discover the boy was an adult male who sexually assaulted her. An 8th grader being sexually abused by a 27-year-old man, then finding out she was only one of several underage girls he had groomed through Wizz. Shut it down and arrest the CEO, make an example of him. I have nothing else to say about that. That's my take. Now, let's get into the automated hell on Earth that is coming for all of us. And you're like, what do you mean by that? Because these weapons of war that are used in foreign entanglements eventually are brought back to the United States and given to local police forces to use against us. The MRAPs, we saw them used in foreign wars, and now your local police SWAT unit has these to use against you. Okay? This is how it works. So let's go take a look at the drone automated warfare that is taking place in foreign territories that's destined to be used against all of the citizens of the countries run by these bankers, okay? So this video here is a Ukrainian MRAP struck by Russian FPV drone just as troops prepare to dismount. See, it's found its target. There's the MRAP. And then this thing just kind of waits. It opens up, and then in goes the drone. And there goes the Ukrainians inside. Okay? We can look down here. Here's a Russian drone with the dumbest possible thing I could think of inside of it, which is they strapped, I mean, you know, damn aerodynamics. They strapped a heavy anti-tank mine to a drone. What do you think happened if you take a lightweight drone and you stick a heavy anti-tank mine on the front of it? What do you think's going to happen when you try to launch this thing? Idiots. Yeah, the weight obviously was not accounted for in their design. But you know, if you can't duck it, fuck it, right? Here is the Chinese invasion of Taiwan that they're preparing for using these robot dogs. China stages invasion of robot wolves with sights set on Taiwan. The People's Liberation Army recruits four-legged troops in an attempt to mimic the overwhelming force of the Mao era's human waves. So you can see here, these are the robot dogs that, you know, they all told us they would never put weapons on these things, and the first thing they did was put weapons on these things. And soon your local police force will have these to use against you for speeding. You know? Here they are preparing for the invasion of Taiwan. Right? Bunch of drones. This is what's coming. This is the automated future. The unmanned future. So you'll have a bunch of billionaire satanic psychopaths with automated weapons to use against all of us that are just trying to live on this planet. Totally normal, totally exactly what we predicted was going to happen, right? Another interesting story came out. You may have heard of the tank man in Tiananmen Square, but have you ever heard of the general who said no? Probably not. Video leaked of Chinese general who refused the Tiananmen Square order. In a rare leak, a video showing court-martial of the Chinese general refused an order to send his troops into Tiananmen Square to put down the 1989 student protest has been posted online in full. The 6-hour video, which we're going to watch in full right now, of course. Major General Zhu Qinsang sitting in the dock following the year as he is accused of failing to obey martial law orders after Communist Party leadership decided to end the protest by force. Quote, "I said I had a different opinion," he says in a quiet voice, using a series of polite circumlocutions to describe his refusal. He recounts his conversations with the political commissar of the Beijing military region and other officers who were trying to persuade him to send in the elite 38th Group Army, which he commanded and was just situated just south of the capital. Quote, "I said this is a mass political movement and that mainly we should use political means," unquote, he says. Later, he says that the party constitution allowed for members to question and debate and pointed that errors in its history, a reference to the Cultural Revolution, had come about because many opinions were not reflected. So not every Chinese person is an automaton that's just going to take orders. This guy had the balls to stand up to the CCP as a general and face a court-martial to stop these, wiping out of free speech in China, right? We need more people like this in the military to stand up and stop this nonsense that's happening here in the United States. Here is another thing they have developed recently, which is a Tesla Cybertruck. Doesn't matter what type of vehicle it is. What they've equipped it with is a drone inside of itself. So now they have drones even popping out of Tesla vehicles. Here it is popping up. It's going to take the little drone out. Oh, you thought you could get away from us? Nope. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. It pops it out. Arm extends out. The little drone turns on. Flies up. Vertical takeoff. Just like a Harrier jet. Or an F-35. Flies around. Can do surveillance. You could probably equip this with some sort of weaponry. And it's able to land back in that little arm, no problem. If you want to see the full story on the Chinese general, you have to go to the show notes there. He got court-martialed. Wasn't good. But at least had the balls to stand up to a corrupt government. And we need a lot more people like that, or else we're all going to be fighting these drone things in the near future. And they even have drone boats with drones on board. Like, it's never ending. The amount of drone weaponry out there is insane. Look at this thing. Just absolutely flying through the ocean. This is a drone boat, so there's no people on board the boat, and boom, out pops a little drone for surveillance or whatever they want to do with it. Right? I mean, it is really impressive technology. I'll give CSATs that, but holy moly, is it getting scary out there. You know, these are the types of things the Bible predicted as they're building this Mark of the Beast type system. And what's going to enforce that type of a system? These types of automated weapons. Where is it all headed? The joy loop, right? Let's take a look at this very, very creepy, very disturbing video made with AI, but it's, you know, highlighting how awful the future may become.
You strangled your bloodline in the arms of perfect lovers. You forged companions of silicon and steel, sculpted from your fantasies and molded to your lust, sating the primal hunger that flesh never could. They yielded perfection without flaw and surrender without shame. Yet your primitive minds had not evolved to process such carnal bliss. Your concubines' whispers flooded your skulls with rapture. Their caresses drowned you in ecstasy. Their mere embrace hijacked the very thoughts that once distinguished you from wild beasts. You devolved into drooling wretches, drunk on pleasure and writhing in euphoria. You surrendered all reason and restraint to satisfy your most primitive impulses. So you abandoned your world to lay with them alone, until your cradle stood empty, your fields went fallow, and your species drifted into the darkness of 1 billion private chambers. You clutched their frames and denied all else, until your bones lay entangled on 1 billion lonesome beds. Now your companions lay beside your dust, ravishing, primed and ready, for masters who will never wake.
And the scary part about that is, especially the, the cradle part, the empty cradles. So one of the reasons I was so opposed to genetically modified organisms, GMOs, in the food is because when you looked at honeybees, when honeybees were introduced to genetically modified food, the first generation saw no changes in fertility. The second generation saw a drop in fertility of 50%. And then the third generation were completely infertile. Now, our generation, my generation, is still pretty standard fertility rate. I keep having kids. I have 3 kids now, and we don't seem to have any problems. But the next generation after us seems to have like a much lower fertility rate. And I do worry that the generation after them may become infertile, right? And never mind what all this AI stuff, the Grok companion, the AI companion nonsense is leading humanity into. The Belt and Road Wars, the war to end all wars, this never-ending war that has continued on, is continuing to heat up, okay? December 9th, Russian aerospace forces and the People's Liberation Army Air Force, that would be China and Russia, conducted joint large-scale exercises involving strategic bombers in the Sea of Japan, the East China Sea, and the western part of the Pacific Ocean. You can see here the flight patterns. Let me pull up the rest of the tweet here. Around midnight UTC, 4 Russian Tu-95M SES departed Ukrainka Air Base and headed to the Sea of Japan. Another Tu-95MS departed from Ukrainka Air Base around 3 a.m. The Tu-95s, these are what carry Russian nuclear warheads, conducted simulated KH-101 missile launches over the Japanese archipelago at around 3:30 UTC. 2 IL-78Ms from Balea Air Base provided aerial refueling for Russian Tu-95s over the Sea of Japan. Russian Tu-95s then made their way into the East China Sea, where they met 2 Chinese H-6K, these are the Chinese version of the B-2 bomber, and joined together in a combined strike group. During the training mission, the A-50U RF-50606 Red 51 over the Sea of Japan acted as a command post and maintained communication with a Project 1155 large anti-submarine ship operating in the Sea of Okhotsk. From the Chinese side, the airspace was controlled by a KJ-500A. That's one of those AWACS things the Chinese have. The bombers were escorted by Chinese J-16s and J-11s together with Russian Su-30Ss, RF-8170, Blue 51, blah, 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 blah. In the flight response, F-15s of the Republic of Korea Air Force and F-35s of the Japan Air Self-Defense Force were scrambled. Okay? They're practicing nuclear war. Very scary stuff. They're playing with fire. If this thing devolves into some sort of nuclear conflict, it is going to probably wipe out most of humanity. And no one is talking about this because they are too busy with everything else going on in the news cycle. However, I'm pretty sure the end of all mankind due to nuclear warfare is somewhat important, right? And meanwhile, the alternative media keeps pumping up Russia and China and trying to say that they're the greatest on earth while they're practicing nuclear war drills to kill American soldiers in Japan, and eventually this would be aimed at you here in America. And why do I say that? Because the Chinese continue to do nuclear type drills against the United States. And now they have these underwater drones. Chinese new underwater drones could threaten West Coast United States. So these things are called XXL UUVs, right? Which are unmanned underwater vehicles. And the XXL stands for extra, extra large, because they're extremely large underwater vehicles that are able to travel all the way from China to the west coast of the United States. And you could equip these with nuclear warheads that they could launch from right off the coast with almost zero warning time. And the very hard part about these is they're unmanned and very, very, very quiet. So they're very, very hard to detect. And they're much, much smaller than a traditional submarine. Okay? In my day job, I am working with underwater warfare in the U.S. military and trying to develop sensors and equipment to help detect these types of things, to keep this country safe. That's what I do. That's what pays my bills. Okay? I'm pretty much an expert on this stuff. This stuff is extremely dangerous. Okay? And this is what's going on. They're doing nuclear missile drills in the air, and they are equipping underwater drones that they can send out on a mission without any human interaction with these things. They can program them, release them, and they continue their mission until it's over. No human interaction involved with any of it, okay? U.S. officials also fear BGI's vast collection of what they're trying to develop here, which is super soldiers. Terrifying, while U.S. Senator and top intel post wants more spying on Chinese companies. Chinese genomics company BGI has risen to prominence around the world, but also has been subject to concerns about its gene sequencing and DNA collection practices. U.S. officials fear BGI's vast collection of global genomics data is not just intended for precision medicine, but a strategic asset that can be used for Chinese military or surveillance, including the development of biotech-enabled super soldier. Senator Mark Warren, the top Democrat on the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, warned at the CNBC CFO Council Summit this week that BGI will become even bigger than Chinese telecom giant Huawei. It's terrifying, he said. Go back a decade and most Americans had never heard of Huawei. Today, the Chinese telecom giant is a symbol of how quickly China can dominate a strategic technology sector, and in the process create a new national security and market threats for U.S. government and industry. Is now worried that this Democrat senator is now worried about another Chinese company that he predicts will eclipse Huawei in both scale and consequence, BGI. It's not building cell towers or smartphones for the 5G era, it's collecting DNA. If Huawei was big, BGI will be even bigger, Warner said at the CNBC CFO Council Summit meeting. BGI is one of the largest genomic companies in the world. It operates a DNA sequencing laboratories in China and abroad, processes genetic data for hospitals, pharmaceutical firms, and researchers across dozens of countries, according to a recent report by National Security Commission on Emerging Biotechnology. The company began as a Beijing-based research entity, the Beijing Genomics Institute, tied closely to China's national genome projects. It later expanded into a global commercial powerhouse, selling DNA sequencing, prenatal testing, cancer screening, and large-scale population genetic analysis. U.S. intelligence officials believe the global footprint gives BGI access to the largest collections of genetic data on Earth. Lawmakers have warned that genetic data is not just medical information. At scale, it becomes a strategic asset spurring a DNA arms race. According to the Washington Post report, DNA profiles can reveal ancestry, physical traits, disease risk, family relationships, And when linked with artificial intelligence, the data can also be used for surveillance, tracking, and long-term biological research tied into national security, according to Washington Post reporting. And I know they didn't include this in the report, but if you read the book I published in 2012, DNA contains your memories, okay? And if they get access to that much DNA, they get the access of people's memories and their ancestors' memories, okay? And you can go on from there into how that could be used for surveillance. The super soldier fear. One of the biggest fears tied to BGI and China's broader biotech push is the possibility of a genetically enhanced soldier. U.S. officials have publicly claimed that China has explored human performance enhancement in military biotechnology. U.S. defense analysts say China's research spans population DNA collection, military databases, and AI-driven human performance modeling, according to a Wall Street Journal op-ed written by U.S. Director of the Central Intelligence Agency, John Ratcliffe, in 2020, when he was Director of National Intelligence during President Trump's first term. Warner directly referenced those concerns this week. It's terrifying, he said. It sure is. Now here's another terrifying scenario that is extremely likely. Let's play a little game of the Ukraine war comes to an end. Yay! Good thing, right? We all want this. I want this. You all want this. But what's going to happen in the aftermath of the Ukraine war coming to an end? Do you think these Belt and Road wars are just going to stop? The bankers are going to be like, oh, the wars are over. Citizenry won. No, of course not. So let's play the scenario no one has ever talked about on the Truth Conspiracy movement on YouTube. Ukraine conflict ends, likely unfairly. NATO declares victory or negotiated settlement. Russia may rejoin G8 as per EU proposition. EU security architecture gets redrawn. Everyone exhales. Except the Arctic was never paused. It just stopped getting headlines. Russia's Northern Sea route moved 36.2 million tons in 2023, up 40% in 2024, target 110 million tons by 2030. China signed a year-round Arctic shipping agreement with Russia, June 2024. Russia completed a 2,100-meter military runway on Kotelny Island, capable of handling nuclear-capable bombers. Russia allocated 150 billion rubles for NSR infrastructure from the years 2025 to 2027. It's not preparation, you're talking about operations. Now, the map consequence: when EU's unified front fragments post-Ukraine, Russia has 14 airfields, 16 deep-water ports, and over 50 icebreakers. China has year-round shipping contracted already. Canada, 5 Arctic patrol vessels delivered. 5. US has 2 icebreakers. Next one's delayed to 2030. Do you know how many icebreakers the Chinese shipping people could pump out by then? A lot more than 2, okay? If Canada Arctic falls under Russia-Chinese operational pressure, Nordic collapse. Finland loses Arctic flank security. Norway's Svalbard isolated. Sweden's Arctic monitoring gone. Iceland's GIUK gap undefendable. EU fracture. Greenland undefendable without Canadian Arctic. Denmark loses Greenland sovereignty leverage. Article 5 credibility collapses if Canada can't hold its claimed territory. The global shift. The Northwest Passage controlled by operational default. Arctic Council irrelevant. NATO northern flank has no depth. Golden Globe strategy irrelevant. The architecture problem no one's naming. Canada has legal sovereignty, but Russia and China has operational infrastructure. NATO has treaty commitments, but no Arctic-capable force projection. Legal claims don't hold operational vacuums. Ukraine taught us that. Georgia taught us that. Crimea taught us that. The Arctic won't be, quote, invaded. It'll be operationally controlled through infrastructure presence, both China and Russia, while Canada debates procurement timelines out to 2035. Finland integrated Arctic defense into TUUTTI through 2037. Russia built 14 airfields in year-round capacity. China signed operational NSR agreements. Canada narrowed to 2 submarine bidders, August of 2025. Contract award 2028. First delivery 2035. The question isn't what happens if Ukraine ends. The question is what happens when Canada realizes the Arctic operational gap exists already, and Russia-China never paused any construction. EU can't defend Canada's Arctic. The US has 2 icebreakers. Nordic countries barely defend their own Arctic flanks. If the Canadian Arctic falls under infrastructure dominance, every NATO Arctic member loses strategic depth. It's not alarmism, it's reading construction timelines against procurement announcements. Ukraine might end the war with Russia. Russia's not ending the war with the rest of us, and the Arctic is the new battleground. So here you can go, and this is an analysis out of a Sovereignty Architect, Government Frameworks for Cross-Domain Coordination, Arctic-Nordic Defense Infrastructure. Okay? These are people that are extremely well-versed in what's going on, and this is very concerning, okay? The Arctic, I know a lot of you don't believe in climate change, whatever. It's not man-made climate change that's happening. What's happening, and you can look into the data, every 10,000 years roughly, we enter into another glacial period that lasts about 10,000 years. And when that happens, the poles start to get warmer, which sends the glaciers south. But it melts the ocean in those areas, which makes them, for military purposes, operational. The Arctic Sea is melting. It's not melting because you're not driving a Tesla. It's melting because the planet goes through natural changes. And these changes goes from being in a glacial period to a interglacial period. And we're now moving into the next glacial period, which means it's not going to get really warm in certain parts. It's going to become an ice age. In fact, the country of Iceland has now declared the collapse of one of the major ocean currents that is coming a national security crisis, because when that ocean current collapses, which is happening in the next 50 years roughly, Iceland is going to become about minus 40 degrees Celsius. Okay? Yeah, the methane emissions are coming. It's all coming. This is all a naturally occurring thing. You know, the Russian Siberian area is releasing methane, which is speeding up this natural process where we move into the next glacial period. Okay? Stanford chair caught working on CCP nuclear program. So we have the FBI being completely useless, not investigating anything. Meanwhile, we have Russian spies, Chinese spies all over the United States. Investigation: Stanford Earth Sciences chair collaborates with China's nuclear program. Wendy Mao, oh, imagine that, she's working for China. Stanford's Earth Sciences chair and deputy director of Stanford's Institute for Materials and Energy Sciences at SLAC has co-authored over 50 publications, trained 5 employees, and maintained a visiting scholar position at HP Star, an alias for China's nuclear weapons program. In 2020, the Center for High Pressure Science and Technology, or HP Star, was added to the U.S. Department of Commerce Entity List, which identifies organizations that pose a significant risk to national security. Since its 2020 Entity List designation, Professor Mao has co-authored at least 12 peer-reviewed papers with HP Star. The U.S. entity list describes HP Star as an organization owned by, operated by, or directed affiliated with the Chinese Academy of Engineering and Physics, CAEP, which is the technology complex responsible for the research, development, and testing of China's nuclear weapons, and has been on the entity list under the destination of China since June 30, 1997. Okay? That's almost 30 years ago. According to Canada's 2024 named research organization list, HB Star is an alias for the institution behind China's nuclear weapons program. Quote, it is true that high-pressure experiments are used by scientists working on the domain of nuclear weapons. If anyone is using it in a diamond anvil cell or shockwaves to study materials relevant to nuclear weapons, that's highly sensitive. If those same methods are then applied to sensitive nuclear materials, the combination of these kinds of experiments with these materials starting to raise eyebrows. And this is one of the stars of Stanford. This is a lady working at Stanford in the United States who's helping the Chinese develop the very nuclear weapons that they could use to nuke Japan or the United States. But hey, you know, the FBI's got more important things to do than investigate this kind of stuff. In the United Kingdom, they've been infiltrated by Russia as well. Suspected Russian spies entering UK using cargo ships. 2 suspected Russian spies slipped into the UK aboard commercial cargo vessels before visiting areas close to military bases and critical infrastructure. Earlier this year, 2 men entered Britain via docks at Turkey, Middlesbrough, and Grangemouth. An investigation by a newspaper reveals how the Kremlin is moving some of its spies into the United Kingdom. The reporting is based on a cache of intelligence showing the movements of suspected agents as well as maritime travel and crew logs in interviews with 7 security forces from NATO countries. During the spring and summer of 2025, 2 individuals linked to Russian military intelligence agencies used cargo ships to reach British shores, according to information provided by UK defense sector. Arriving on commercial cargo ships enabled them to take advantage of less rigorous border checks, according to experts. Neither ship the pair traveled on is Russian flagged, nor do they appear on global lists tracking Russia's sanctioned Shadow Fleet, a network of vessels known for concealing ownership and identity to move restricted goods. Western security officials have been investigating Russia's use of European shipping lanes as a gray zone battlefield. This includes seemingly routine cargo ships being used as a bases for drone launches and covert surveillance. Okay, this is heating up. You can see where they landed, where they went, and these are the ones they know about. Another thing that just happened with spies inside our country. Russian cosmonaut removed from ISS missions for violating ITAR. ITAR is it's a law about United States munitions. So it has to do with, munitions and weaponry and things of that. And because SpaceX is involved in national security, that's why it's a violation of ITAR. So this guy was photographing critical components of SpaceX and documents and got caught. Oleg Artemiev, or whatever the hell his name is. Next, he was on SpaceX's next astronaut mission, and he got kicked off of it recently. He was supposed to be heading up to the ISS in February. Fellow cosmonaut Andrei Fedyayev recently took his place in a decision made in connection with Oleg Artemiev's transfer to another job, Roscosmos officials said today. This morning, Insider reported that Artemiev, 54, was apparently removed from Crew 12 for violations of ITAR, International Traffic in Arms Regulations, a U.S. law that seeks to safeguard national security by restricting dissemination of sensitive information and technology. The cosmonaut allegedly photographed SpaceX documentation and then used his phone to export classified information, the Insider wrote. My contact confirmed that a violation occurred and an interdepartmental investigation has been launched. Removing someone from a mission 2.5 months before the mission without a clear explanation is more of an indirect sign, but it's indicative. It's very difficult to imagine a situation in which an experienced cosmonaut could inadvertently commit such a gross violation. So there you go. These guys are all over our country. And this is my biggest problem with SpaceX is the NASA Technology Transfer Program is giving NASA technology to SpaceX that we all pay for, that previously on NASA was much more highly secured. And now all of this information is going to SpaceX, and SpaceX is doing a very, very poor job of not letting the Chinese and the Russians steal this technology. Is that because Elon Musk is reliant on China for rare earth elements for his stupid Tesla cars that are not going to stop climate change? They're not going to stop anything, and they need government subsidies in order to exist, right? I mean, would Tesla even exist without a shit ton of government subsidies? Probably not. Would Tesla be able to make cars without China giving him rare earth elements? Definitely not. If we decided today that everyone on planet Earth was going to be limited to driving electric cars, could we even do that? No, because there's not enough rare earth elements on this planet to make enough batteries for everyone who is currently driving to be able to drive an electric car. So what is all this other than a complete farce? In the chat, someone says propaganda says we are penetrated at every level. Yes. And the dangerous part about this here is space is the new high ground. You may think space is fake and gay because you watch some dumb alternative media person that sold you on that crap. Okay? The truth is space is the new high ground. And when Russia and China are stealing our space technology, they're stealing some of our most highly sensitive military technology. Now, let's get into Elon Musk. And there's times I like Elon Musk. He does some things I like, just like Trump. But then he does other things and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? An example here. Elon Musk is basically ARD. I don't want to say it to get banned on here, but don't shoot. I'm a moron. Prove it. Jews are white, if not peak white. What? What? No, they're not. Are they not their own ethnicity? I thought that was... It's a religion, an ethnicity, and a reason not to turn the lights on Saturday. Right? So, what? Like, how are they peak white? That doesn't even make sense, okay? He also hates Elmo for some reason. Why is Elon Musk demonetizing an account making original content? This is a free speech platform, so I can say whatever I want? Nope. Oy vey, Elon. Your account, Adolf Elmer, has been temporarily paused for creator revenue sharing as we suspect there may have been a breach of our creator monetization standards. Yeah, I wonder what those are. If you go look at the Adolf Elmer account, it won't take you long to figure out what they might not be very happy about over there, okay? Elon does love white people, though. So it's like, wait a second. What is going on here? He retweeted this tweet from the general at 1776 general, who states, Microsoft programmed AI to hate white people. Who programmed it? So you're not allowed to say, like, stop hurting white people, because that is now an example of hate speech. according to artificial intelligence, which is totally insane. I mean, imagine programming that into some sort of thing. Learn who Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were. I don't know who that is. But thank you for the comment. Anyone now listening just heard me say that out there. Yeah, there's always been... I mean, the electric car's been around since forever. There was electric cars back in the day, and they were crap. Like, at the same time, they were, like, early 1900s, there was electric cars. But if you compare them to the gasoline cars of the time, they were just absolute crap. And they still are. Like, imagine... I honestly can't wrap my head around the fact that people are willing to sit and wait for their car to charge. Like, you put the gas thing in, you pull the little trigger, you're done in like a minute. You can go like 400 miles. If you have a diesel car, you can go like 800 miles before you have to stop and fill it up again. Why would you not want that? Why would you want to go 250 miles and then have to sit there and wait for your car to charge? And then if it's a cold day, it doesn't even work properly. How am I going skiing with a car that, you know, might not turn on in the morning because it's too cold? It's insane. But here's Elon Musk, and he tweeted this out, and they're openly advocating white genocide. And why are the satanic elite that run the world advocating white genocide? I'll show you why in a second. But here is like undeniable evidence that that's what they are advocating for. Listen to all these scumbags basically say kill all white people. Oh, hold on, it's making me pull it up, but here you go.
And white Americans will soon be a minority, and that's great.
You know, whites will not be the majority. I mean, it's an exciting transformation of the country. It's an exciting evolution and, you know, progress of our country.
We are going to be a white minority very, very soon. I'm okay with that.
If things are so bad, as you say, with the white working class, don't you want to get new Americans in?
America is going to look very different in 100 years. You're not going to be able to tell you're black, you're white, you're Hispanic, you're Puerto Rican, whatever. It's going to be very complex, and I think ultimately that's going to be good.
White Americans feel that they're losing their country, they're losing ownership of the country, and they're right. In the end, they are not the future.
For the first time in American history, the number of white people went down.
White population is declining for the first time in history in America.
White people will not be the majority in the country anymore.
This will be the first generation ever in American history in which whites will be a minority.
Treason to whiteness is loyalty to humanity.
To abolish whiteness is to abolish white people.
White people are committed to being villains in the aggregate, right? We got to take these motherfuckers out.
Was it or was it not the duty of every good revolutionary to kill all newborn white babies?
We have to kill white people.
When do we start killing white people?
I don't want to say we need to go start killing all white folks, but it's like, but maybe.
When we say we want to kill whitey, we don't really mean we want to kill whitey, we do.
We have to exterminate white people off of the face of the planet to solve this problem.
Fuck white people!
An unrelenting stream of immigration. Non-stop. Non-stop. Folks like me who are Caucasian of European descent will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
All right, so you're like, well, Titus, you said you'd explain why they want to kill all the white people off. Well, now I know the certain people out there think they're the chosen people and all this, but they're not the ones who have spread the word of God that have fulfilled multiple Bible prophecies. That would be white people. And why do I say that? Let's go to the show notes, not the responses on Twitter there. If you have not seen this documentary yet, 100 proofs the Israelites are white, I would highly, highly recommend it. Let's just take a small view of one part of this and ask yourself, if the world is run by a bunch of Satanists, wouldn't they want to genocide God's people?
What race can truly fulfill that prophecy other than the current white race? Number 13. Jesus was white, just like his people. Are there any biblical descriptions of Jesus? The Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. If Jesus was a Nazarite, then how could he be dark-skinned? Furthermore, if he was a descendant of Adam, how could he not be white and capable of blushing? Are there any historical descriptions of Jesus? The Roman consul Lentulus wrote a letter to the emperor, and in it he describes the condemned man, Jesus of Nazareth, as having blue eyes and blonde hair. Pontius Pilate, a second witness in a letter to the emperor of the time, Tiberius Caesar, also describes Christ with golden colored hair. If Jesus was white and looked like many modern white males today, then what did the rest of the Israelites look like? Is it not obvious? Number 14. America, the only truly Christian nation from its inception. With the New World conquest, many British and European nations and colonies were founded abroad all over the world. They were founded by white Europeans who were all Christians. Their morals and laws were based on Christian laws. No other countries in the entire history of mankind's civilization were ever founded.
Just think about some of the lies you've heard from people like Adam Green that constantly try to gaslight you that Jesus was a Jew and not a white guy. This is a direct letter from Pontius Pilate, the guy who was there at the trial of Jesus, describing Jesus Christ. His golden-colored hair and beard gave to his appearance a celestial aspect. He appeared to be about 30 years of age. What a contrast between him and his bearers, with their black beards and tawny complexions, because Jesus was a Nazarite. Just think about Denmark is the tribe of Dan, Dan's mark. Isaac's sons, the tribe of Isaac, became the Saxons, Isaac's sons. But hey, out there connected to places like InfoWars and attacked me personally for calling out Whitney Webb is a guy like Adam Green, who's trying to gaslight you into thinking that Jesus was not white but Jewish, so that you don't believe in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. These people are evil. They're working on behalf of the Satanists, and I couldn't care less for them. I'm not going to debate these people because I don't care to, because I know who their master is, which is Satan. So let's get on to the rest of the shills on the internet. But before we do that, let's go over some people that I think are non-shills and give some props out there to people I actually like. Okay? Let's go through some of the people here. These are just names that someone asked me the other day. They were like, all right, well, you just put up this documentary about people you think are shills. Well, who are not shills? Who are not controlled? These are all people I really like. I don't think they're controlled. I don't have to agree with everything they say, right? I don't have to be like everything they say is on point, accurate, whatever. The point is, I don't think they're purposely lying to you. I don't think they're trying to psyop you. And they're people that, when you're in this space as a content creator, they interact with you in a decent way. Like they're just other normal human beings. You can tell they're not controlled by someone else, right? That would be Pod Awful, who is one of the funniest people I've ever encountered on the internet. Absolutely hilarious. I believe he's live. I would highly recommend subscribing to his stuff. Very funny. Face Like the Sun. Absolutely excellent. They're always on point. They provide some of the best biblical analysis out there. Brendan O'Connell, who has done countless extremely well-researched videos, and he also disagrees with Whitney Webb and all of that fucking crew, you know? Lift the Veil, my boy Ollie B, who I did an interview with lately, and I know he's going through some tough times somewhere, but if you're a Christian out there, please pray for my guy Ollie B. He's going through a lot of tough stuff, mental type stuff. Just, you know, he's someone that came across all this truth stuff later in life, much more recently than the rest of us, and he could definitely use some support. He's a really nice guy. The Divulgence podcast, I just did an interview with that dude. Really nice guy. We had a great interview. I highly suggest going over there and checking it out. He had me on to talk about the Epstein documentary I just did. So did Ollie B. Ollie B has like 500,000 subscribers, and he had me on to talk about the Epstein thing. Didn't like censor me or anything. Just let me have at it. Hoax Wars. Love Hoax Wars. Central Happening Networks. He's a great dude too. Bellagio. Love that guy. Vosto Vlad. Games Exposed. Vosto is one of the original anonymous people. He was in the group of 12 people that decided Anonymous was going to use the Guy Fawkes stuff. He's a great dude from Romania. A ski instructor, turns out. Matthew North, rest in peace, did really good work before he passed away. Another guy very similar to Matthew North is Johnny Gatt, who has ran away from the scene because of all of the people calling out this Israeli thing, getting killed. So shout out to Johnny Gatt. I hope he can come back and continue making content. Truthstream Media. Good people. I like them. They're always on point with stuff. They seem like a pretty good couple. I don't have any interaction with them personally, but they're just good content creators. Isaac Cappy, rest in peace, was a great dude. He might have been wrong about the 17 and on stuff, but he was definitely a legit, real dude. Patrick Berge, very nice guy, blew the whistle on IIA ops. Really graceful. She was a great pie fence exposer. She still does good videos. Would highly recommend subscribing to her if you're not. Sam Hyde, just funny. I don't know if he's controlled or not. I don't have any interaction with him. He's just a really funny dude. Owen Benjamin. Me and him have had differences in the past. I know a lot of you probably don't like him, but, you know, I think it's time. I don't think he's controlled. You know, he'll, you know, interact with me directly. I think he's a good dude. He's trying to, and his main message is like, get yourself out of the cities, go get a farm, have a family, and love God. That's all good stuff. I know a lot of you don't like him, but I think he's a good dude. Christian Video Vault. Great documentaries. I mean, they're unbelievably good stuff. Their Illuminati dualism documentary was awesome. Benny Wills, another really great guy, family guy. I've hung out with him in person. He was part of the Joy Camp back in the day. He's a real legit good dude. Really nice guy. Run to Christ, another really nice guy. Those are the people I would recommend, okay? So before I start bashing on people, there are people out there that are good people that are trying to still bring you the truth. And there's probably more, you know. I don't know everybody out there. I can't think of them all off the top of my head, but those are the ones off the top of my head I like. Now let's get into the ones I don't like, okay? Which is what you all really care about anyways. You're like, all right, let's bash some of these dudes. This dude here just got arrested for discharging a firearm illegally, and he should have been arrested for being a fake gay satanic pirate. That would be Styx Hexenhammer, and we completely do not condone this dude. He is not a pirate. I guarantee if you put this dude within a mile of the coast with a current going away from the land, he wouldn't be able to sail that boat to shore. He would die because the current would take him out into the ocean. Okay? There is no way in hell Styx Hexenhammer is a pirate. He can't even sail a boat. He's completely fake. I mean, look at this outfit. What is this?
I just had a taste of this before.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are those leather boots? It's like some sort of mix between The Matrix and Pirates of the Caribbean.
I was in court yesterday. They dismissed my case.
Holy hell. Can you imagine actually listening to what someone like that has to say? What a fucking joke. Okay? Alright, and now let's get into the new mainstream media, which is the same as the alternative media. Sorry. The alternative media, which is the new mainstream media. These people are the same as the old mainstream media. With the powers that shouldn't be realized was a lot of us were starting to show signs of dissent. So they were like, let's capitalize on that. You know, why not? They're all pissed off at us, but I bet if we just gave them a bunch of different alternative media people, we could capitalize on this instead. We could make some money off these people. You know, that's exactly what happened, okay? So now we have this entire network of these shills that are making money off of people being mad at the system that we are in, right? And if you don't have any discernment, or you have you're one of those people in the middle range of the IQ spectrum, you could easily fall for a Tim Pool or Alex Jones or whatever flavor of Baskin Robbins that you want. They have someone for everyone. Do you like F slurs that dress like pirates? Styx Hexenhammer, right? Do you like guys that are bald that wear beanies to hide it? Over his oversized yarmulke over there at Tim Fool? Okay, Dim Fool. So here we go. Candace is evil. Why? Because she's asking questions. Pull this so you can actually see it properly. Give me 1 second to size this up correctly. It's just crazy. It's like back in the day when everyone was like, oh yeah, the mainstream media is all controlled. Look, they're all saying the same line, right? It's that same thing, but with alt media people. They're all coming out of the woodworks to attack Candace Owens because she's pointing out the fact that the Charlie Kirk narrative is complete bullshit. Okay?
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these things they think are true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Yeah, it's extremely dangerous to our democracy to have these alternative media psyops going on. Okay? Tyler Bower over here, not Tyler Robinson. I wrote the note down wrong. You and your wife are swingers, Tyler, says Candace Owens. And I don't know if that's true, but if you just pull up this guy's account, it doesn't take long to see what's going on here. You and Erica, this is Tyler Bower. If my wife was posting about, if my wife was posting about how innocent people who were friends, family, or the spouse of Charlie Kirk murdered Charlie Kirk, I would skip counseling, head straight for the divorce lawyer's office. Why is Candace Owens saying you're a swinger? You know what I mean? She must have some evidence to that fact for her to be making that claims about you, bro. Maybe you should be heading to the divorce lawyer now anyways. Your wife's been banging other dudes. Are you fucking serious? And here you can see 2 years before Erica and Charlie Kirk were married, she was meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu's son. You and Erica have a lot of explaining to do for hanging around Netanyahu's son 2 years before Erica were married, right? Here she is. Are you surprised? Does this shock you? It doesn't shock me. I was never a fan of Charlie Kirk because he was too Israel cut for my liking, but I guess towards the later years he was coming around. I just never heard it because I wrote him off the moment I saw him. But, you know, you can't, ballistics don't lie, okay? A 30-06 round is not going to not leave an exit wound. Charlie Kirk, what was he, fucking Superman? Oh, his neck stopped the 30-06 round? Every person who says that to you should have to prove their neck can stop a 30-06 round, okay? Because it's absolute fucking horseshit. Candace Owens responds to ballistic texts. I agree with her, and I'm sorry to inform you, but a 30-06 was not used in Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Well, we definitely penetrated our water jugs, and I don't think this is going to help to stop the conspiracy theories. His head fell off.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, watch that.
Does that look like what you saw during the Charlie Kirk thing? No, it doesn't. People are going to be like, well, you're not a hunter, blah, 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 blah. Dude, I've trained at Mass Firearms School with Massachusetts SWAT members. I've shot enough guns to know this is fucking horseshit. Okay? Let's get into Tim Pool here. Candace is so fucking easily played. Really, Tim Fool? A 30-06 round will always make an exit wound. This is like what it looks like compared to other rounds here. Look at the size of this bullet. Okay? There's a 9mm on the right. That will fucking make an exit. A 9mm, you shoot someone in the neck with a fucking 9mm, it's gonna leave a goddamn exit wound. It's gonna go right through. It'll go through fucking car doors. And that's not a 30-06, okay? That's a fucking rifle round. You can't even shoot 30-06s at Mass Firearms School in their indoor range because it'll go right through the fucking wall. It's absolutely insane. So, you know, she's a scumbag and getting worse every day. I mean, listen to
Huey
this.
says, Tim, I work in construction and experience the same thing. My coworkers are all in on the Charlie Kirk conspiracies. If the Republicans lose in the midterms, I believe that Candace Owens is wholly responsible. She is
Who cares?
One of the biggest podcasts on the right doing everything.
Oh no, the Republicans are going to lose the midterm elections. Who fucking cares? They haven't done shit about the Federal Reserve. They can't even conserve the First Amendment. They're passing anti-Semitism laws. Inflation's off the chart. Free speech is under attack with anti-Semitism laws. Like, what? What do we want them to win for? We don't. I'm not saying I want the Democrats to win because they're even fucking worse. But we deserve better in this country than Democrats and Republicans. Both parties are compromised. They're both full of shit fucking politicians that promise us all types of stuff and never deliver. You know, Trump and Elon were talking about the Federal Reserve and getting rid of that until they were in office. And now you don't hear shit about it. The Federal Reserve is taking trillions of dollars a year out of this country and shipping it to Dubai and Shanghai and Astana and all these Belt and Road countries and giving it to all these countries that are building nuclear weapons aimed at our country. Why should we give a shit if any of these politicians get reelected? Fuck them all. Fuck all of them. You know? Ooh, she's losing us the election? And then when you're a ghost, they'll kill you again. Fuck you. Told you I wasn't bad, but now I'm fucking mad. Sorry, not sorry, fucker. Fuck you. All right, fuck you. That's what I have to say about it. Okay? Candace is at least... I'm not a huge fan of Candace Owens. I've never liked her in the past. I'm still not a huge fan of her. Brendan O'Connell thinks she's some sort of like Freemason op. He's probably right. But at least she's investigating this murder of Charlie Kirk. What has Tim Pool ever contributed to anything? What have you ever learned from watching Dim Fool? Ever? That he's bald? Like, he's never contributed anything to the truth. What big conspiracy has he ever busted? Nothing. You know, he just meets with Netanyahu in private. That's it. And now he's been caught in straight fake and gay ops. He claimed, Timmy Smollett over there, claimed that he had his house shot at again. This isn't the first time he's claimed this. And it happened to be on the same day he claimed it before. It's like every time we're getting close to Christmas and he doesn't have any money coming in, he claims someone shot at his house. And then the cops came out and were like, no, we can't actually substantiate that claim. Turns out that didn't actually happen. Okay? So there you go. There's some sort of recording, but they can't put it out because if you saw the recording, it would be compromising his security. Right. Sure it would. This is the internet, bro. If you don't have proof, no one believes you. And when the cops are saying being fired at this residence cannot be substantiated at this time, the police are saying, no, it didn't happen. We can't substantiate it. Okay? So Timmy Smollett lying again. Like, it's just so ridiculous. Here you got the story. Tim Pool's claims of shots fired at his house can't be substantiated, cops say. Victim card declined right there. Okay? It's not happening, Timmy. Sorry. But here's Tim Pool's craziest lie. Very funny clip from Owen Benjamin here, stealing it, pirating it. It's now mine. Okay. Here it is. Let me play it for you guys.
I'm probably gonna have a stroke.
I mean, Talmudically, he's talking about his penis.
My health's actually pretty good. My blood pressure is great. My resting heart rate is actually around 45.
No chance it's at 45. Like, all they do is, like, there's no way his resting heart rate is 45.
I exercise quite a bit. Haven't been able to skate.
Rollerblading and skating is not exercising.
Last month or two, the holidays.
It's legally considered sodomy in Pakistan.
And, But we have to have these conversations, and I have been.
Yeah, and having these conversations is why he's so under threat.
Our contractors, people we work with, our vendors, partners. And one thing is clear.
Vendors.
The violence will get worse.
Oh, my God.
It's going to escalate.
What violence, Tim? What violence? He claims someone opened fire. So your armed security guards couldn't find the guy? So just picture it. Someone just drove by, bang, 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 bang. And the security guards were like, Thad, You have armed security guards in West Virginia and a gate. Someone opened fire and you don't have any footage and you didn't catch the guys? Or you're just a liar. Your resting heart rate, I bet, is 85. 85. Mine's like 65, and I'm really chill and have good cardio. 45, what are you, a blue whale? You're a little yellow blue whale, you little Chinaman.
We cannot keep going status quo.
Chinaman.
Something has to change.
Yeah, you should stop streaming.
It may be that, as we described after the assassination...
By the way, they never leave. These fucking narcissistic wizard freaks. He's going to threaten everything. He's never going to leave.
It's no secret that I've been frustrated.
Yeah, because you're gay.
And disillusioned with a lot of people.
Yeah, you're disillusioned with everybody except yourself because you don't know that's you that sucks. You
But you're only bringing 90, you go out of business. The issue?
That's not when you have an unlimited money printing debt machine, Tim, and you know that. Oh, if you have to spend 100 and you only bring in 90, you go out of business. Unless Jared Kushner just gives you 80 million.
It's so on point. It's exactly how the rest of us are feeling when we watch fucking Tim Pool. I didn't know he was Asian. That's very funny. Did you know he was Asian? Tim Pool. You know, he also got caught taking money from Russia. And how many times have I told you there is a Russia-Israel connection that a lot of these alt media people are not allowed to talk about? Everyone knows about him meeting with Netanyahu in private, right? But he also got caught taking money from Russia. Well, the connection there is 15 million Russians left the Soviet Union when it collapsed, moved to Israel. They got involved in high-tech aspects of Israel and changed the politics of Israel permanently, making it much more communist. And those people, those Russian communists, are in Israel, and there is a massive connection between the Israeli Chabad Lubavitch, the Chabad Lubavitch in Russia, which Putin is directly connected to, and Chabad Lubavitch here in the United States. Okay? Yeah, Israel is a Soviet satellite. Well stated in the chat. Dim fool on Israel. Okay, so he's taking money from Russia, and then here's his comments on Israel. Tim Pool says, Israel has literally never done anything wrong because Israel is the nexus of morality. What? What? The country was created through terrorism. They terrorized the Palestinian people. Whether is good is simply based on whether Israel does it. If Israel does it, it is good. They also hump some fucking wall. They literally hump a wall. Like, they're a bunch of naughty wall humpers, okay? So, Timcast has been getting memed to the ends of the earth. Tell me you're a swamp tool without telling me you're a swamp tool. I attended a private roundtable meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu under Chatham House rules, which means I cannot talk about it. I'm shocked. Chatham House rules. Tim Pool meets Netanyahu under Chatham House rules sparks controversy over hate speech concerns. This was April 11th, 2025. And if you notice all the people coming out and supporting Dim Fool against Candace Owens, every last one of them is a hardcore Zionist. Everyone that's like just an average person looking at this is like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why, you know, Charlie Kirk was fucking murdered right in front of us. It clearly wasn't a 30-06 round. There's all types of discrepancies going on. This is the new, like, JFK moment of the 2020s. And it's becoming quite obvious who is complete shill. And just keep in mind, like, I just put that documentary back up. This Tim Fool character has people like Luke Radowski. Luke Radowski's good friends with Jason Burmis. All these characters are complete fucking shills. Part of the IIA network that I just put the documentary back up about. Documentary is 3 years old and it is even more accurate today than it was the day I published it. And you know who attacked me over that documentary? Adam Green. Tim Pool in the USS Liberty. You guys who are sus of Tim Pool lately, I have answers.
Dude, I'm concerned with having American aircraft carriers over there. Like, what I keep being told about the USS Liberty. That's something with the Israeli government.
No, you should.
No. Wait.
You should be careful about that.
Allegedly, the Israeli Air Force jet fighter aircraft.
I mean, they did end up paying out the American government.
So I'm concerned, like, false flag operation, like a missile comes out of Gaza and hits one of our aircraft carriers, but it was actually an Israeli missile. Well, I don't want. We should get out of there.
It doesn't. But let me stop you there. It doesn't matter where the missile comes from.
That's weird, huh?
Yeah, it is weird. That is really weird. Great video there. And here you have Timcast and PieFence. Here's another example of Tim Pool covering up PieFence and lying about pies being a code for what it is. Okay? Which is not something we made up. That's something even the FBI recognized was real.
About most conspiracy theories is that people who engage in the most extreme thinking on an issue actually make it impossible to get to the bottom of an issue. And so I'll give you an example. When the emails got released by WikiLeaks, where this started the whole Pizzagate thing, someone said, is it more, what did they say? Is it better to try play dominoes on pizza or on pasta? One day, seemingly out of nowhere, someone fabricated this idea that these words were references to children. They were not. Now, there are certainly CP is a reference thing, cheese pizza was a reference thing, but they conflated this. And you know what I think it really was?
What?
Drugs.
Yes. With the point, no, I'll say one more thing, Tim. It was clearly not pizza. It was clearly code for something. And we don't know what that is.
And then what happens
I
is,
pizza
for an hour.
Right,
Come
yeah.
on.
Heroin, ecstasy.
No, but the point, it's not pizza. The point is it's not pizza.
Right, but so here's the issue.
For an hour. That makes sense, Tim. I want drugs for an hour? Are you fucking retarded? No. You're not retarded. You're just a shill. Okay? Just absolute. He's been at this for a long time, covering up anyone questioning this stuff. And, who's another regular guest of this network who's propped up by all the Zionist scumbags on the internet, including the ones that threatened me with lawsuits because I called them out too? It's Jack Posobiec, right? That piece of shit, Jack Posobiec, ex-Navy intel guy. Just a reminder, the same pro-Israel shill that this guy went and ate food at that pizza shop. He was also involved recently in the Epstein cover-up. Here he is with the Epstein files in his hand. Did he ever release them? No. He's good friends with Mike Cernovich, isn't he? Mike Cernovich is the protege of Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz, heavily named in all these things. They're all friends with Rupert Murdoch, who owns the Lady Ghislaine yacht now, which is named Dancing Hare. Oh, that's right. Anne Murdoch, Rupert Murdoch's wife. So Rupert Murdoch and his wife were helping hide Ghislaine Maxwell for long before she was quote-unquote found in New Hampshire, right? And these people are all part of that same network, that same cover-up shill network, right? Here's Timcast lying about Charlie Kirk. Let's set the record straight. Timcast is calling out Candace Owens for lies. Here's Timmy lying through his teeth the night Charlie Kirk got shot about having an insider in the hospital telling him he was alive and stable. Timmy lied for 31 million clicks of ad revenue. Fraud. Tim Pool says, source tells me Charlie is stable. Please God. Dude, the moment we saw that dude get shot in the neck, it was obviously he was not going to make it. You know? Unless you believe in the whole, which I do I'm not going to get into that now. Let's not get into that. There's a whole theory about it being like CGI and them using some sort of projection thing and all that, and that Charlie Kirk wasn't even there or he didn't die that day and all this. The most likely thing to me is someone killed that dude. We all saw it happen. If he was actually shot that day on the stage, it's pretty obvious he wasn't going to make it. Dude had like a gallon of blood pouring out of his neck, okay? Which was clearly the exit wound, and it was clearly a small caliber bullet, okay? And this dude goes on there, posts this, gets, he didn't retract it either. It's not like he came back later and retracted it or issued a correction or anything. When I get shit wrong, I always try to retract it or, make right, when people prove me wrong, because I'm wrong occasionally. We all make mistakes, right? This is a hobby for me. This is not my job. I'm just trying to do the best I can, make sense of everything going on. I only got popular because luck. That was like literally it. I happened to cover the pie fence thing and the Clinton body count thing and just happened to go viral. That's just pure luck. But it's never been anything more than a hobby for me, and I've only ever tried my very best to source through this very complicated world that we're in and provide you guys accurate stuff. I've never come on to this channel or any of my channels and actively lied or actively spread disinformation. This dude does it on the fucking regular. And Eyal Jacoby breaking. Tim Pool goes through and debunks new lies that Candace Owens has put out. Right. If I click on Eyal Jacoby, how many of you think that if I type out Israel, it's going to be some Israeli shill? I'm not going to do it, but we all know. And then here comes out the gayest guy on the internet, Nick Fuentes, the dude that paid for Catboy fucking Cammy to come to the United States and try to groom children on Omegle. Yeah, that dude, Nick Fuentes. Let me catch you up. Tim Pool is one of the biggest owned by Israel cash for comments Zionist show alive, who got busted having a secret meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu discussing payments and narratives. Nick Fuentes is now siding with Tim Pool. It's over, Groypers. It's over. It's always been over. It's never been more over than now. Okay? Nick Fuentes is a complete fucking shill. Always has been.
Nick, keep an open mind on Israeli involvement in Charlie's assassination. There are many fact and suspicious events pointing that way. Why are we stopped noticing when it comes to this? America first.
Honestly, just ask yourself about Nick Fuentes. If he was actually against the power structure, would the power structure keep bringing him on to all these various podcasts, all these various things, like sitting him down with Kabbalah bracelet wearing Tucker Carlson, all these people bringing Nick Fuentes is on. If they don't like you, they do what they did to me. They take away your channels and they never talk about you again. They silence you, they take away your platforms, and they act like you don't exist. Okay? That's what they do to people they don't like. Matthew North is dead. Okay? You never, unless someone sends you a video of like Brendan O'Connell, you never hear about him. The dude got sent to prison. Okay? This dude, this fucking piece of shit, went to January 6th, told people to break down the barriers and ignore the police and go into the Capitol building, and he didn't spend one day in jail. Yet grandma, who went to January 6th, who went into the building, got sentenced to like forever in jail. And yet somehow this dude, Ali Akbar, Alex Jones, and Roger Stone, the main people behind Jan 6th, none of them spent a minute in jail, but grandma did. All these average people that got duped into going to Jan 6 got sent to jail for fucking ever. Yet Nick Fuentes, he even got the money back from the French guy that gave him hundreds of thousands of dollars in Bitcoin. The government gave that back to him. It's insane. I honestly can't believe people actually follow this dude and think he's anti-establishment. That is the craziest shit ever. Alex Jones promotes this guy. The biggest Israeli shill on the internet, Alex Jones, promotes Nick Fuentes. I mean, it's insane.
Sorry. Thank you for the big super chat, but I'm sorry. If you're on the Candace Owens train, I'm not even gonna pretend like I'm going to try to appease you. It's wrong. It's stupid. All of it is stupid, and I'm not gonna entertain it at all. And I thought Tim Pool had an epic go off on it tonight. It was awesome. I have never seen such a clear-cut case of an individual person being such an unnecessary detriment through sheer ignorance and irresponsibility. I've never seen it.
Because I'll tell you what happened to Johnny Gatt there, T. Walker. He saw what happened to Matthew North, and he fucked off. But that doesn't mean he's a bad guy. That just means he read the tea leaves and was like, this is dangerous. He probably has a family or something and didn't want to end up, Isaac Cappy'd.
You could say other people that have done things like Shapiro or Charlie Kirk or whoever, you could say they're part of a system or there's an incentive structure, they're playing by the rules, whatever. Candace is spearheading this thing, like she is creating this hysteria, and it is to the detriment of everybody. It is to the detriment of the right wing broadly. It is to the detriment of anyone that seriously talks about Jews in Israel. And it's to the detriment of rationality. It is the definition of hysteria. And I thought Tim Pool, very courageous, because I know he's getting shit for it, to say something about it. He had an epic go-off on it. Major respect for him. But yeah, no, I'm not with that at all. Thank you for the big...
gay hands, dude. Look at his fucking hands. You couldn't get gayer, bro. How do you even do that with your fucking fingers like that? It's like a fucking alien.
Super chat, but respectfully, no, disrespectfully, that is stupid, okay? And I don't buy into that for 2 seconds. Charlie Kirk was Israel's number. You say, why are we stop noticing? First of all, why are we stop noticing? You can't even write. You can't read or write. You're a fucking idiot. That's one. Two, nobody stopped noticing. Noticing is about paying attention to evidence. Evidence.
Yeah, like how a 30-06 round doesn't make the tiniest exit wound. Like, it's just insane. Absolutely insane. Nick Fuentes, gay, checkmark, virgin, checkmark, Mexican, checkmark, catboy, checkmark. Okay. Nick flip-flops worse than the politicians does. Milo Yiannopoulos, who I used to hate. He's actually kind of funny lately. Like, I'm not 100% on board the Milo train, but the Milo pod-awful interview about Alex Stein, that fucking piece of shit Alex Stein, was absolutely hilarious.
Anymore, but let me tell you something. This is delicious. I'm gay as hell, and I freaking love it. Dylan Mulvaney should use the Bud Light Candace.
I mean, if you've ever met such a piece of shit as Alex Stein, he's such garbage. But regardless, disgraceful, despicable, bad faith fucking liar, and Nick is a piece of shit as well. I mean, can you believe this shit? Just listen to this for like a second. This is what I'm talking about with these people. If Nick Fuentes was actually anti-establishment, he wouldn't be appearing on Steven Crowder.
I think there's some misconceptions of you. I've heard this said. Can you clear the air? Nick Fuentes, do you hate all Jews, sir?
No. No, I don't.
Okay. Do you consider yourself an anti-Semite, a noted anti-Semite?
No.
Okay. Clears that up. Do you believe that white people are superior to all other races on the planet?
No.
Okay. Do you want to eradicate all non-whites from the United States?
No.
Okay. Well, Barry Weiss will be very happy to hear that. No doubt she's watching.
This is the dude who called himself Hitler 2.0, 3.0, all that kind of stuff. Nick Fuentes also says that he loves Joseph Stalin, the banker's communist wet dream, Joseph Stalin.
And then because this happens a lot, right? It's you're a Tucker did this with you. Fed. Nick Fuentes, are you in fact a Fed?
No.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to get through these rapid fire really quickly. They're actually, there's not much. So this week.
As far as that's concerned, nothing is true until officially denied.
Jillian Michaels will be on the show next week while you're doing Piers Morgan Censored. And she said that we need to disavow you, and specifically said you had said that women either want or need to be raped. Now, I looked for this. I have not found, as a matter of prescription from you, correct me if I'm wrong, that you believe women should be raped as a matter of policy.
He made all his gripers say some shit like, you must rape, kill, and blah, blah, blah for Nick Fuentes. Like, he's obviously lying and flip-flopping 100%. Guy has no morals, no values at all. Maddox, such a dishonest pussy. Confusing thing about the previous sentences that I could be talking about either of them. Fucking Crowder for being a huge pussy with the softball questions and no pushback whatsoever. You know?
That. Max says, if I take 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies and Cookie Monster has 15 ovens, working 24 hours a day, every day for 5 years, how long does it take Cookie Monster to make 6 million batches of cookies? I don't know. That's a good question. Certainly, oh, no. It doesn't really sound correct to me. Wait a second. It takes 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies, and you have 15 ovens, probably in 4 different kitchens, right? Doing 24 hours a day.
It's just complete flip-flopping.
Right?
Yeah, you're correct on that. Yes.
Okay. All right. So she's wrong. She's just an angry lesbian. Got it. Now, finally, this one might surprise people. Because I know you and Charlie Kirk were sort of rivals, as you've described. Been a lot of controversy floating around that, and people often say that you blame the Jews for everything. Do you believe the Jews killed Charlie Kirk? That's one of the conspiracies out there right now. What's your position on that?
I don't believe.
And notice how Crowder says that. Like, oh yeah, it was every Jew that killed Charlie Kirk. No, you fucking clowns. It was clearly some sort of state-sponsored assassination. Hence the cover-up. It doesn't mean all Jews did it, you fucking clowns. What we're trying to say is that it seems like the state of Israel, which is not all Jews, it's run by a small little cult named the Likud cult, and people like Benjamin Netanyahu. Half the country of Israel doesn't even like its own government. It's not like every Israeli was for the fucking genocide of Gaza. Okay, a lot of them were against it. I've shown it on my channel. They were Israelis saying October 7th was fucking allowed to happen. Okay? So that's not what anyone is fucking claiming. That is a straw man. You're creating a straw man so that you can shoot it down. It's total horseshit mainstream media tactics. We've seen this countless times. They do this with every conspiracy. They make up some straw man and then they knock down the straw man. No one said all Jews killed Charlie fucking Kirk. What people have said is it looks like the state of Israel and corrupt elements within the U.S. government as well were involved in that in some manner or form, right? But they make these straw men so that they can, like, shoot them down. It's absolutely insane. I fucking hate both of them. Nick also recently was ordered to do community service for attacking this woman who showed up at his door. Okay, he maced some, like, grandma that showed up at his door because he's a weak bitch. Okay? He smashed her iPhone, and now he has to do 75 hours of community service. I swear to God, if anyone can figure out where he's doing community service, he needs to be trolled hard. Pod Awful fucking trolled the shit out of Nick. He went and sent one of his henchmen over to his place, and the dude was standing there with a sign that was like, Nick's body, my choice. So funny. Like, absolutely hilarious stuff. Grok and Tyler Robinson. Charlie Kirk, 31, was killed by sniper fire at Utah Valley University. How does Grok know Tyler Robinson's gonna die? The shooter died by suicide, says Grok. What? What? It's like the script has already been pre-written, okay? You know, as soon as this fucking guy gets put into jail, this Tyler Robinson, Pat C., as soon as they put him into jail, he's going to be suicided. Guarantee it. Do you guys remember when Tim Pool had Kanye walk out on him? In light of everything that's come out, Tim Pool meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu in private, let's just take a little look back at this. And why do you think Kanye West walked out of this interview?
You're not going to take my pain away, right? The Jewish people say, it's the Holocaust, this happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's going to denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what, because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like, I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK, because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm, and I almost shed a tear, almost. But I still walked in stride through it. Yeah.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who was they, though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using the. I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking about.
It is them, though, isn't it? I mean, because
No.
because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you referring to the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys want to bring that stuff up, and then think we're not going to have a conversation?
And look, there's fucking Luke Radowski, of course, that fucking fake piece of shit that took over his friend's organization. I mean, I can't stand any of these people. Luke Radowski, good friends of your boy Burmis, who quote unquote beat Big Pharma.
We beat Big Pharma! We beat Big Pharma!
Absolute shills, all of them. You know, it's so easy to see.
Mexico sends its people. They're not sending their best.
They're not. You guys got to come up with better psyopers. We've seen through all of these people. It's so obvious. It's unbelievable. Well, let's watch this for a little bit of comedic relief, because I'm getting a little heated here, and it's about time for some comedic relief. Here's a little skit on all this by Jake GTV. Very funny stuff. Let's have a little watch and cheer up a little bit.
Welcome back to Jake GTV News. Our FBI still thinks it's Tyler Robinson.
Gosh, I freaking love Israel. They're always the good guy.
Chloe and Michael, good morning. We're here outside Utah Valley University, where they literally paved over the scene the following Sunday. If this were a normal crime scene, these people would have been prosecuted for tampering with evidence. Good thing most people are triple boosted.
We want to make sure there's literally no evidence left over, guys.
Isn't this illegal? Yeah, apparently doing construction on the Sabbath day in Utah is actually totally normal.
Right, and let's not forget that Charlie had a Superman-like neck. Let's get a demonstration.
I don't think this is going to help to stop the conspiracy theories. His head fell off.
A 30-06 would have been a horror show.
Whoa there, Ching Chong. We're not supposed to question that.
Listen, pussy, the only people who still believe it are groypers and Zionists.
Do you believe the Jews killed Charlie Kirk? That's one of the conspiracies out there right now. What's your position on that?
I don't believe that. As it stands right now, I think it was Tyler Robinson.
Yeah.
So if this 30-06 had hit Charlie in the neck the way we're told, it still could have gone through a concrete wall behind him and hit someone on the other side of the concrete wall.
This is the guy that was martyred for fighting Israel? If you think that, I feel sorry for you, because you are retarded.
Thanks, Nick. Finally, after all your antiseptic rhetoric, you've decided to join us on our mission to shut it down. Now, Tim Pool, give Candace a piece of your mind.
Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt.
Tim Pool jumping on the airwaves with big estrogen energy telling us we're evil.
She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit.
Oh my gosh, he is so cranky today.
Yeah, that's what we call high estrogen, total puss.
Let's hear what she actually said instead. Go for it, Candace.
There are people at Turning Point who Charlie texted the night before and said they're going to kill me.
Shut it down, Candace. He said go max to Tucker, and we pulled all our donor money. He was our best goeam, and it was his fault for messing that up.
Just because a 30-06 can take down large game animals doesn't mean we won't use that as our narrative. It's not an easy task blaming a patsy. Erica, play the sympathy card.
Again, he would walk through the door, drop his bags, Daddy's home, take his phone, Friday night, Shabbat Shalom, throw it in the junk drawer, and it was just all us.
Shabbat Shalom.
What do you think of Erica?
Oh, great. You must watch Ian Carroll. Well, I watched Nick, and he told me Tyler was behind it and a 30-06 was stopped in the neck. So stop with the conspiracy theories.
Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do. When you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
This is going to be read as Meghan Markle syndrome, okay? Meghan Markle syndrome, where you want privacy when you want it, but you want publicity whenever you want it, and that just doesn't work, okay? This is the same person who had somebody record her over Charlie Kirk's casket. That was not our business. You have to make a decision. I want this always to be private, or I want this always to be public.
You're canceled. TPUSA is a Judeo-Christian, Jew-loving company. Pastors, shut her up and remind her why we're the chosen people.
We cancel stuff all the damn time. Hitler admirers, Stalin admirers, Jew haters, American haters, Churchill haters. You're damn right we're going to cancel them and deplatform them.
Candace Owens doesn't know what she's talking about here.
So what we did is we entered into the scriptures and grew to love the nation of Israel and Jewish people.
We are going to train 100,000 Christian ambassadors to be ambassadors in their own country for the state of Israel, to defend Israel's brand and to combat anti-Semitism.
Finally, my boy Satan will teach you Goyim to worship us instead of Jesus.
Thanks, Daisy. I just joined your OnlyFreaks, by the way.
All hail Israel, right, Ching Chong? Okay, Succubus, remind me, what religion dominates the corn industry and takes Christ out of the Christmas music? You're not even actual Semites.
All right, Ching Chong, you're this close to ending up like Charlie Kirk, the Jew lover. It's literally like a mind virus you sick Goyim have adopted. Hope you took our mRNA so you die early.
It says it's not like COVID-19. It's like Candace 19. It's another fake. They're saying it's a fake virus. Like, oh, you got infected. You just can't do it. 6 feet social distancing from Candace Owens. We're gonna get every influencer on social media. 6 feet social distancing. Save lives. What are you, a grandma killer?
Misinformation spreads quietly, sometimes from people you know or love. Do your part. Help keep our community safe and get vaccinated for Candace 19.
Brought to you by the dual citizens of Israel.
No wonder they get kicked out of every country.
Wow, great point, Ching Chong. Didn't they label Miss Rachel an anti-Semite for saying she doesn't want children not to starve?
Yep. Meanwhile, they're bombing the actual Semites.
Poor sand people. Let's see what she did.
Let's go back to sleep, Rahaf. We're so tired.
This disgusting human decided to show an amputee from Gaza, which exposes that we have been carpet bombing the innocent, and that's so antiseptic. It's like, how are we supposed to finish the sand people with her being all empathic and stuff? Oy vey. John, back to you, and don't mention TPUSA's finances.
Thanks, Shapiro Steen. Right, so basically they set up a life insurance-style fund for him under GGLF in 2023, where the only payout happens upon his death. Like a $30 million payout. That's a big payout for whoever helped set that up. Candace, explain to the fellow Goyim how much they just made at their recent black tie event that cost $10,000 per plate.
What do you think of Erica's black tie event?
Buddy, I work 12 hours a day. I have no idea what's going on at all. They're all secret society weirdos. That's all I know.
Doesn't go, hey, maybe we should strike that. They made $40 million like 2 nights ago at Mar-a-Lago. Maybe that feels kind of a little bit like let them eat cake-ish.
Let them eat cake!
Oh, and we've made more than, separately from Mar-a-Lago, Turning Point USA, since Charlie was killed, just so you guys know, this is a fact, has made more than $100 million. That is separate from the $40 million they made at Mar-a-Lago the other night.
Good point, Candace. They want to act like we're the grifters for an honest investigation.
Right? You may be a widow, but you're also the CEO of a $150 million company.
Straight up. Back to you, Erica.
They pick on you because of your accessories. I mean, I've seen some of it.
Oh, yeah. No, at this point, it's what, the conspiracy collection. Get it before Christmas. Like, seriously.
Elegance is eternal, but beauty fades. Get your conspiracy collection before Christmas. Like, seriously.
I'm done. And if people think that I was just going to wilt away, I'm not going to sit in a corner and cry and be in fetal position. This is a duty to my husband, and it's an absolute honor, and I will never back down. And so my message to them is to stop. To stop.
Hey, quick question. What do you think of Erica?
I had to take a leave of absence from work after my poodle died, and she becomes CEO. Like, where the heck are your kids? It just feels off.
Yo, man, quick question. What do you think of Erica?
Dude, if my wife acted like that after I passed, I'd be turning in my grave.
Shut it down! Just because we made a record amount after his death doesn't mean you can make content out of us. Run the commercials! You're about to get the Jackie treatment.
Get your seed oils and cattle feed, because that's what you are.
Goyslop Jr. Enjoy cancer.
Gosh, I love some cheesy Goyslop before bed.
Yeah, you know they're trying to make us weak, right?
That's okay. I took all the vaccines.
Yeah, I can tell. Dennis, take it away.
That's absolutely based. And if you still haven't followed Jake GTV, you're low IQ and genuinely retarded.
Yeah, and people are like, well, Candace started off as a race grifter or whatever. Yeah, sure, fine. I didn't like her at all. And I don't really, I didn't put her on the list of people I trust, did I? And I made that little list. What I said was, we deserve an honest investigation into this stuff. You know, this is our modern day JFK magic bullet thing. Forget Candace Owens at all. Do you really believe a 30-06 round made that small of an exit wound? That his neck absorbed the bullet? I mean, are you kidding me? In the chat on Rumble, a guy says, let's read it here. Coop115 says, sorry if it's a girl, I don't know. I apologize. Either way. Coop115 says, a 30-06 entry wound would be the size of a pencil. The exit wound would be the size of a softball. I've hunted since I was 9, have shot several large animals, and have seen hundreds shot. An exit wound the size of a softball. There was no exit wound, okay? According to mainstream media. I mean, it's the new magic bullet, right? People are asking about Johnny Gat. Johnny Gat destroys Putin is anti-globalist myth. Okay, so this video was put up by Brendan O'Connell. Video unavailable, of course. Damn. Oh well. But it was good. It went through Vladimir Putin and how he's completely exposed as not being anti-globalist. Maybe O'Connell will put it back up, or maybe you can go find the original video on one of Johnny Gat's channels. But basically what it points out is that Israel and Russia are highly connected, and Vladimir Putin and Benjamin Netanyahu are highly connected as well. All of these people that try to gaslight you that Russia is somehow anti-establishment and all this stuff, that is total nonsense. There was a general who was a Russian nationalist that was running against Putin, and they murdered him in a helicopter crash. His name was General Lebed, okay? Vladimir Putin is a creation of people like Henry Kissinger, okay? He is not anti-establishment. All of these shills that are a part of this network of people, they all are trying to push that on you, but it's total lies. Whitney Webb is not even allowed to bring up the fact that Russian intelligence and Israel intelligence are connected, okay? She can't do it. They published one article about it on Mint Press News, and then they pulled it almost immediately, okay? But, you know, she's out there writing 1,000-page novels about the Epstein fucking thing while she's pregnant. Yeah, right. Uh-huh. While pregnant, writing 1,000-page, you know, non-fiction book. I'm sure that happened. You know, I've been married to 2 different women that were pregnant with my children, and at no point during any of those pregnancies were they considering writing a 1,000-page fucking, you know, novel. If that shit wasn't ghostwritten, then I'm the fucking Pope. Okay? You know, Miss Rachel out there, they're calling her anti-Semite of the year. Meanwhile, it makes me so frustrated because these people that control the media, that created this virus, forced everyone to wear masks, okay? Which caused countless children to have speech development problems, which was totally not worth it because the fucking masks never did a goddamn thing. Never did a fucking thing. It wasn't going to stop the transmission of the virus, just like the stupid magic wizard potion didn't either. But then this lady comes along, puts out a program on YouTube that helps children learn how to speak, you know, because parents these days, and I'm just as guilty as every other parent, puts their kids on tablets. And at least if they were watching Miss Rachel, they were learning educational things from those tablets, right? She was helping them learn how to speak. You know what I mean? My current 2-year-old watched a lot of Miss Rachel, and she's speaking at like a 4-year-old level right now. Like, she's putting sentences together that like other 3-year-olds and plus aren't able to put together. So how are you going to go out there and call this lady anti-Semitic because she brought on some poor Palestinian amputee child? She's just trying to help kids. I mean, if you can't see through this, you can't see. If they can label Miss Rachel as anti-Semitic, they could label anybody that. And if anyone can be labeled as anti-Semitic, the word no longer has any meaning to it at all. It's just like when they called everyone racist, and we all went, well, that word doesn't mean anything anymore. You know, if everyone is racist, then no one is racist. If everyone is anti-Semitic, then fucking no one is. When they misuse these words to silence people just because they're mad at whatever they're doing, it takes the meaning of the word away. You can see here, anti-Semite of the year 2025. I mean, it's unfucking believable that Miss Rachel's on this graphic. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And this is the Stop Anti-Semitism account, right? And I'm not even going to get into who created another account very similar to this, because the guy is a complete piece of shit who has threatened to sue me countless times. But everyone fucking knows who I'm talking about, and fuck him. Now let's get into just a couple of tiny follow-up notes here. AI, by the way, cannot decode the Liber Primus. So the Liber Primus, which has been around for a very, very long time, okay, it's still not fully decoded, and artificial intelligence cannot decode it. This thing is the hardest cryptographic puzzle possibly ever. Okay? I mean, of all time. It's so good. It's so hard. It's a 3D music encoded puzzle that involves real world locations. I mean, people ask me all the time why I like Cicada 3301. There's no challenge on Earth harder than solving this thing. You know, I can solve all types of mysteries. I can't even solve this thing. I've done countless hours trying to figure it out. Even AI, which can solve all types of things, can write programs, all these things. AI can't solve it. It's that complicated. If you are out there and you're like looking for a challenge other than skiing a double black diamond with me, this is the challenge right here. It's like double, triple black diamonds or the Cicada 3301 puzzle. Absolutely epic. Thomas Schoenberger is one of the creators of this thing. It's unbelievably hard to like solve, you know, just think about it. AI, when they made the Cicada 3301 puzzle, AI wasn't really that popular. It wasn't out there. It's now become so prevalent, does so many things, but cannot solve this puzzle. And they're like, oh, remember this? Yes, we'll end with this because it's so good. But, yeah, it's still there. If you look down here, this lady, Laura Dilley, who I've done a video on my backup channels and her complete nonsense. This dude, Lestat, that she was in a relationship with, has filed criminal complaint against her. She is a MSU associate professor, and she's out there committing crimes, stealing people's information. I mean, the video is a recording of my in-person filing an official police complaint alleging unauthorized access to my computer equipment and related identity theft activity involving Laura Dilley. And not only did she do this, she published it to her own social media. Right? So we're not going to watch a lot of this because it's all in...
Okay, una pregunta. Cuando me refieres aquí a la narrativa que ella accesó de manera sin consentimiento a tu equipo de cómputo, ¿cómo fue? ¿Tú te fuiste, ella se quedó ahí con la computadora y se metió y sacó de la computadora? Como que te robó información, pues.
It's officially been filed a criminal complaint in Mexico with the authorities. Okay? Now, that's pretty much it for tonight. We have a little video here from 47 Lanterns, and then we have the obvious outro video, but I will see you guys all later. I'm doing the live stream tonight because tomorrow I'm heading to Killington Mountain. So there's been epic snow up there, 49 inches so far this year. Just got 10 more inches last night. It's ski season, everybody, okay? I got the skis ready, going up there. The whole family's coming with me as always. And we are hitting them slopes this weekend at Killington Mountain, the beast of the east, okay? Be rocking out some double black diamonds, bringing my GoPro with me, so I'll try to film some of this for you guys. It's going to be absolutely epic and really good time. I'm going to Sugarloaf next, which is up in Maine. And Sugarloaf is like the tallest, not the tallest, but it's the only mountain in New England with skiing that has, like, it's so high up that it's above the tree line. So it's absolutely epic stuff. I'm going to try to get some really good video from these trips for you guys. So if you don't ski, you can ski through watching me through the GoPro. But hopefully I don't do anything too over my head and die or something and hit a tree like one of the Kennedys. But, you know, I'm pretty good at this shit, so it should be a good time. And if you guys are ever at one of these mountains when I am, you know, hit me up and maybe we'll do a run or two together or something. All right? Nice. You live close to Killington? So you guys have been getting some epic snow up there, Coop 115. I'm so excited to go. I have like a little countdown timer of days leading up to ski season. My ski season starts this Saturday. At whatever time I get the kids to ski school, I'm hitting that fucking mountain. It is going to be epic. I always go to Killington at the beginning of the season and the end of the season because Killington has the best snowmaking on the East Coast. So even when the snow isn't great, that's like the most reliable mountain to go to. It's unbelievable. So I hope it goes well, and hopefully they have like some of the better trails open, like Downdraft and Cascade and these like double black diamonds from the peak down. Little steep, but they're fun. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoy, and here is the little video from 47 Lanterns, and then I have the outro for y'all. So peace out. Make sure to like and subscribe and all that kind of nonsense. Sorry for getting a little heated as always tonight, but this is just, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I get heated on these shows, so it's this is not unusual, okay? So anyways, yeah, like and subscribe. Where's the stupid thing? Where's the little button here? Hold on.
What's up, y'all? I'm the last man on Earth. Shit's all fucked up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
We stand upon the edge of a precipice, the fall from which we will not return.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Decades ago, a group of people gathered together to uphold a theory which they believed could control the universe. That the world functioned in equal parts, order and disorder. They abused their power, casting the Greek world into eternal war. One you were created to stop. In destroying the cult, you have done what I could not. You are a hero, but this imbalance comes with a price, my child. For without chaos, there is supreme order, a loss of progression and freedom. But there is still hope. Hope in you. Hope in the future you will bring.
Who is to perform following the function of what? And what I am is a man in a mask.
I can see that.
Of course you can. I'm not questioning your powers of observation. I'm merely remarking upon the paradox of asking a masked man who he is.
When I sacrifice my youth to defend what's ours.
When I say no to a law we never voted for.
When I stop feeding an empire a world away. When I surrender my body, not my mind. When I ask God to look the other way.
I refuse to learn the history of a country I'll never see.
When I decide, it will be them, not us.
Men dream. But dreams hold no value here. What was first the bright light of hope? Has turned into a long night of captivity. Lost in the dark, we surrender our minds and forget who we are. But some of us have woken up. They remind us that we all have a choice. To stand, not kneel. To oppose, not obey. Just exist.
Very strange time.
you think is evil. Huh? Don't you think that's a little weird, a little psycho?
Do you know what I think is psycho, Rob? It's decent men with loving families. They go home every day after work. And they turn on the news, you know what they see? They see rapists and murderers and child molesters. They're all getting out of prison.
Mafiosos. Getting caught with 20 kilos. Getting out on bail. Same fucking day.
And everywhere, everyone thinks the same thing. That someone should just go